Hi, my name is Belinda and welcome to Belinda's Baubles, episode 38. I'm coming to you from a different location today, obviously. I am not in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm actually in Davidson County, North Carolina, visiting family. And this is the end of my month-long time off from work that I've been having, and I just wanted to touch base with you guys and just have a chat. So this is going to be a more informal episode than what I usually do. If you're new here, I usually have basically my finished objects, my under construction, which is my whips, and my new projects. So it's more conventional type setting. But today is just going to be a little bit of free-for-all. I'm going to have my notes here that I've written down so that I don't forget everything. But and at the moment it is very, very calm. I have woods all around me here. The family's homes are over here, and then the pond, and I hear some frogs every once in a while. I actually have a biplane or a small plane going overhead. If I was in my own backyard, you wouldn't be able to hear me over the jets and everything. Double checking my microphone. And at the moment, it's fairly calm. A few minutes ago, my cousin's dog, who's new to her home, was barking at me. Neighbors have a young bull that has just been separated from his mother, so he calls for her from time to time. And another neighbor through the woods here has a donkey, peahen, chickens, rooster, and more dogs. So it can get kind of stressful here. But right now, I've got the rooster and the frogs. And I'm holding on for dear life for my chicken here. So, shall we go through and see what we can get done here together? In the last episode, I did mention that I was going to do a drawing for a couple of K.F. Jones patterns to help support Kay of the Bakery Bears and her family. If you're not aware, Dan with the Bakery Bears passed away recently, and so I just wanted to do a little something to support. So I think I'll go back and look at my notes, but I think I said 2 patterns, and so I'm going to just put the names of the winners right here. So if you could please contact me either through email, or you can message me through Ravelry or through Instagram, and I'll put all that information in the comments or in the information section down below, and just let me know which K.F. Jones pattern that you would like. Now, if you are not on Ravelry, that's okay. Just let me know, and I think she may sell her patterns through her website, and I should be able to get to them through there as well. But thank you very much for helping me feel like I'm doing something in a situation, because when we're here on YouTube, we don't actually meet each other in person very often, but we do feel like we know each other. I get to know you guys through your comments and through things like the make-along that we're doing right now, to where I get input back and forth, and you guys get to see me on here and see a little bit of my life and what I'm up to. So we are touching each other's lives through all of this. And so when someone has a loss, we may never have met them personally, but we do feel that loss within the fiber community and through the universal community. So let's go on from here. I am wearing the Granny Go Round cardigan that I made, which is a crochet cardigan, and I made a few adjustments to it. I've made this a while ago, so my information is on my Ravelry page, and I'll put a link down below on any of the things that I'm talking about here. But I did knit sleeves instead because I wanted something a little more solid, and I was kind of tired of the granny stitch by the time I got through my cardigan. but I wear this a lot and I absolutely love it. I also have a finished object on my head, which this is the Yorkshire Tam. It is by, my notes, here we go. Okay, Granny Go Cardigan was by Iron Lamb, by the way. And the Yorkshire Tam is by Linda Moss. And I really do love this tam. I'll put some pictures in here that I took this week so you can see some different angles for it. I love the little sheep. And the only thing that I would do different if I did this or one of her other patterns or even any tam is I would make the ribbing a bit bigger. It's a very thin ribbing. And I would make it bigger because whenever it's cold, I do pull it down over my ears and it doesn't cover the lobes because it works that way too. But get it back here. I'm only seeing you guys in a shadow because the sun is reflecting off y'all. But I really do. I've been wearing this like crazy. I've gotten lots of comments on it, and even at a gas station where I was having my tires fixed on the car that I've been loaned. And so I'm loving it, loving it. It has brought out more yarn comments from people and knitting and crochet comments than a lot of my other makes. And I am a little bit addicted to tams now because it gives me air to my ears if I need it, with just a little warmth on the top of my head, or I can pull it down and whenever I'm on my walks and have that. So it's just perfect, especially for like Texas weather and spring and fall weather, I think probably. Then what I also finished was my Le Paulette by by Thea Koss. And when I got this pattern, I'm finding there's a lot of controversy with it because right now, yes, she looks like, I'm getting a breeze and so now my nose is itching, sorry. It looks like the emotional support chicken. This is the base. The Le Paulette is supposed to have ruffles right here and ruffles around her neck. And I just chose not to do that because I just wanted to see her shine. But what I am going to do is there's two patterns that all of these have come from. There is an original pattern out there of a felted chicken. And since I have some woolly wools, I'm wanting to purchase that pattern and the emotional support chicken pattern. And I want to see what a little bit of the difference for myself and which one I prefer. Now, this one did not give a lot of instructions on how to sew it together. And that, I struggled with a bit. But I love how she's turned out. And I've not gotten on this bandwagon. There's also a difference, I believe, to her waddle here. And I like that. The yarn I used is Grumpy Sunshine, and it is by Yarn for the Masses. And then the comb, these are just some little minis from Hobby Lobby. But Yarn for the Masses is hand-dyed acrylic yarn. And my aunt is allergic to wool, and I didn't want to do this in cotton. And so I wanted to do something that she could just hug on and love on. And her health is not good. And her and my mom used to always have pet chickens that they would brush the feathers on and dress up and everything in their backyard when they were growing up. So this is just a bit of my mom, who's no longer with us, to her little sister also. And I love the eyes that I picked. These are animal eyes. And I was looking at pictures of actual chicken eyes, and these were the closest that I could find. I got them at Hobby Lobby. And it's just, I had not gotten on the emotional chicken bandwagon. I saw it and everything and thought about it, but I had not done anything about it. You know, it is comforting hugging her. And I did find the name of a a chicken breed that looks fairly similar to her. I'll put the name down here because I can't remember it right now. But my cousins, they have some baby chicks, and these little baby chicks are a different type of that same breed. So I thought that was kind of cool. So right now I'm just calling her Goldie Hen. And so those are my two finished objects that I was able to get done before my trip and during my trip. And I think that was all I finished other than what I had shown you before in the last episode. What I ended up bringing on this trip to work on is a sock tube. I've only gotten a little bit done on it. I brought it out here to sit here and work on, but I don't know if I'll get that done or not. That may be later on in the day. But the main yarn here is by Bashful Armadillo. And she is, put her under my arm here. She is no longer dyeing, but she had some sock tubes for sale at the DFW Fiber Fest this last year. And so I bought a sock tube. This is the shorty sock, which is what I prefer. And I have enough to make at least a pair of long socks for Sam and a pair of shorty socks for me. And so that's what I'm working on because I've never done the afterthought heel. So I thought that this would be a good opportunity. So I went ahead and set the yarn up on waste yarn for both tubes. And so far I have gotten just my ribbing at the top. I'm hoping to get my toe done and do that for both of the socks. And then once I get back home, I'll be able to, oh, it's getting in my face. I'll be able to add the afterthought heels and concentrate on that. But if I can at least get, you know, the ribbing done on both socks, I'll be happy with that. And that may be all I get done. There's a train in the background now and birds. And I don't know if you're able to hear any of this since I've got the mic on. But this is some peace that I've needed. It is wonderful. I may just go do a picnic lunch and spend my day out here. I fly back late tomorrow afternoon. Oh. But while I was here, I also went by a yarn shop. Imagine, out on vacation, what do you have to do? And so in Clemmons, I think it was in Clemmons, North Carolina, is Fearless Fiber. And I got to meet the owner there, Nancy, and I can't remember, she said her last name was Nichols or Nicholson. And she was amazing. I got a chance to talk to her. She was finishing up a fiber time in part of her shop. And I had two ladies in there that had moved out from the DFW Metroplex. And one that had moved out here 2 years ago from, sorry, I'm getting text messages on there and I'm trying to ignore them. She had moved out here 2 years ago from Grapevine and went to the same yarn shop that I go to there on the Lamb yarn shop. So that was interesting. You walk in, you start, you're mentioning where you're from, why you're there and everything. And then everyone is like, oh, I know that place. And you just don't expect it when you're this far from home. And yes, my ADD is definitely getting me. Sorry if I'm looking off in other directions. But I've got some video of the yarn shop, and I will put that in here. I will probably not talk over it very much. You're probably going to get a bit of music today with some of these videos that I'm going to be showing you. because I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to do a lot of voiceovers. But the yarn shop was really interesting because it had a lot of woolly wool yarns, and it was just things that I had not seen very much or that I've missed in some of the other shops. I'm sure they're in the Metroplex at some of the other shops, and I've got the North Texas yarn crawl coming up next month, so I'll probably see a lot of it there. But Lopi she had that, and she had a lot of West Yorkshire spinners yarn, some different ones. So I purchased some Pure. Now Pure is, oh man, I could think of it a minute ago and I didn't write it down. It is wool from here. And as far as, down as far south as possible from me. So to where you could get wool probably. So I knew I would forget something. I don't have very good internet out here on the log. So I didn't get all my notes done, but oh man, now I'm frustrated. Oh well, it is what it is. But I was really excited, and it's so soft, and I got it in navy blue, so I'll show you guys that in a future episode, just because it is something that I am looking forward to using. I was watching a TV show not too long ago, and the main character on there had it's the Shetland murder mystery show. I tell you, my brain is still in a bad shape today. But the main character had a vest on with a little tied scarf, and I think she had hers on in red. But I really liked this navy blue, and for some reason I was in a blue mood because I helped my aunt dress in blue that day, and it was actually St. Patrick's Day. I had my green. But we went through the yarn shop, and let me give you just a little tour here. Okay, I am back again. The rest of that day, we went over and got a free green donut and purchased some other donuts for my cousin's kids and everything to share with them from Krispy Kreme Donuts. Now, this is a donut shop that started in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where I grew up part of my life. And so we went to the flagship location. So I have some video here of just all these green donuts being made. And so if it has the sign out front saying hot, fresh donuts, you know that the assembly line is going and the donuts are being made fresh. And so their glazed donuts that day were all green. And so that was a lot of fun to see and to get my picture taken out by one of the old delivery trucks and everything. I have a little bit of a background with Krispy Kreme as far as whenever I was a teenager, I went to a small Christian school and I was a cheerleader, and we raised money not by, we sold candy, but instead of just selling candy, we would go on Saturday mornings. This tells you how long ago where we felt it was safe to do this. And we purchased a whole lot of glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme, fresh, warm, put them in the back of the footballers' team's cars, and we went out. The guys drove us, and we went door to door in apartment complexes and at houses and everything on Saturday mornings selling hot, fresh donuts to raise money for parts of our uniform. And so I can remember sitting in the back of a Camaro with donut boxes piled high beside me. And it took me a long time before I could eat glazed donuts again because that smell just got to me. But now it brings back nostalgia. And so that was just a little bit of going on this trip and seeing that. But that was, besides staying with family, I did make it up into the mountains. And so if you're not interested in seeing these videos, I'll say goodbye to you here and thank you for joining me. But for the end of this video, I'm going to just put on some scenes and some videos of going to visit my childhood best friend's parents who live about an hour from here near Hanging Rock State Park. And I went and climbed on rocks and went down by the falls. So whenever you see the video of the steps going down to the falls, and yes, I was doing this on my own, but I was less, about a quarter of a mile to a half a mile away from the park ranger station. But and I had family that was in, or friends that were in the park. They were just a little ways away from me. I did have signal too. When you see these stairs that I went down, be aware, I am afraid of heights. I can't go on a tall ladder. So I was very proud of myself that I ended up going down these steps and back up with my feet and my legs. And I also climbed all over these rocks, and I just had a great time. I did lose track of a little time, and they ended up, whenever the ranger station was closing, the visitor center, they did ask one of the rangers to come check on me. And so he came and walked down as I was walking back to check on me and make sure I was okay, and went back because I couldn't go as fast as he could to report back. And I'm like, these poor people, they are in their 90s, my friend's parents, and they must have thought that they were back in my childhood. I was getting in trouble again for losing track of time, going exploring, and it's just used to, I would be doing all of this with their daughter, and I had her with me in spirit. She was working that day and couldn't come down to join us, and so I took her in spirit. So Lee, you were with me if you ever see this video. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm itching. Okay, no ants. Okay, figured I'd better double check because fire ants apparently are in this area now. So it would be my luck. So that was that day, and I just had a wonderful time and got a lot of pictures taken. So you'll see that. And then yesterday we went to, my aunt and uncle have a mountain house outside of West Jefferson, North Carolina, which is right on the border of Virginia. You actually, to get to their house, you drive into the state of Virginia, take a turn, and drive back into North Carolina. And we went out there, and unfortunately, we didn't get to spend much time. My aunt and uncle were not doing good yesterday, but they wanted to share that because they know how much I love it out there. So my cousin's son and I, he's a teenager, and on spring break, we went out and we explored a bit. And so I'm going to show you some video here. I absolutely love, I went traipsing up in there as a child, and it's near Shatley Springs. And I can remember going there with my parents and spending time with my mom up in that area. And so it has a lot of just emotional bond for me. But we got to go and just walk around, and I got to sit by the springs for a little bit and just listen to the little waterfalls and everything right there as it trickled through. And just, I got 10,000 steps yesterday doing all that. So I was proud of myself. It was just an amazing day. So I'm going to leave you guys here with that. And I will see you guys real soon. Please do comment down below anything you would like to share with me. Have y'all tried any of these different chicken patterns, and what are your thoughts on it? I know there's a lot going on within the pattern community and everything as far as concerns about intellectual property being taken. And whenever I started this project, I had not seen all of that research. So that's one of the reasons I am going back, and I'm going to purchase the other two patterns and make sure that they have revenue from the trickle down. All right, trying to think if there was anything else, see if there was anything else on my... No, I think I got all my notes done. I am going to sit here, knit, enjoy this, and I hope you enjoy a drive into the country and up into the mountains hiking with me a bit. And I will see you guys soon.